Hi, this is Rachel Flower from the Live Your Brilliance show, and I'm here to introduce a wonderful woman, Suzanne Kimberlin, who's launching her new show, Journey to Empowerment. Suzanne is a certified life and business coach, a motivational speaker, and a hypnotherapist, and CEO of Lodestar Coaching. She interlinks all of these skills to help people move forward with their lives. Welcome, Suzanne. What a pleasure it is to have you on board.
Thank you. It's a lovely day as well.
Good. Now, Suzanne, tell me a little bit about your show, Journey to Empowerment. Who's it for and what's it about?
My show is really for all women, but myself, I'm in my 56th year, and I have suddenly discovered a lot of people my own age are looking towards retirement and the final curtain, and I'm sorry, I'm not.
Right. So they want to just put their feet up on the chair, and you're saying, wait a minute, there's more to life.
I would say that at the moment.
Yes.
The amount of ladies who are my age, or I would say from the 30s onwards, who don't recognise the power they have is phenomenal. And I want to inspire and actually empower them to be who they truly are.
So are you saying that part of the reason why these women are kind of so looking forward to and hanging out for retirement is that they haven't discovered their power, and so they're not feeling fulfilled? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I would definitely say that. I think that they have lost their identity, or a lot of people haven't actually found their identity. And through coaching and NLP, different things and workshops, it is amazing the amount of people out there with so much power that they're not aware of. Yeah. Let it loose and wow.
Well, give me some examples of how people have shifted when you've worked with them, and what sort of situations, because I know you and I have been talking offline a little bit, and you've shared some wonderful stories of people that didn't know their own power, and then once they discovered it, stepped into a whole new relationship with their work, their whole sense of their life.
One person in particular that I had come along, she came in and her body language was almost as if she was a non-person. She didn't know eye contact. Absolutely, I couldn't read this lady at all. And then through talking to her and asking about her story and just techniques I used, I suddenly found what an amazing lady she was. But she was so used to being in the box she put herself in, or other people had expected her to live in, she hadn't recognised who she was. That lady is now in a job. She's now teaching other people. She does voluntary work as well. She's doing further studying because she'll be a name, and there's a book in her as well.
Great. And I know you've mentioned bullying at work and people being sort of suppressed as being some of the situations that you've been dealing with people, which was kind of interesting. I haven't heard that word used in quite such a strong tone there, so I'd love to learn more about what that is and how you're helping people in that way.
Quite often, people or women in particular that I'm dealing with, haven't recognised the fact that they're being bullied. They've been in a slot that they've put themselves in, or they've gone in to a job after not working for many years. They've gone in on lowly pay, minimum wage and everything. And they, with their skills that they've learned through life, are actually doing other people's jobs as well. But because they've been employed as minimum skilled worker, they haven't recognised that they actually have the skills, even if they don't have a certificate to say that that's who they are. And sometimes it's just a matter of recognising their strengths and who they are, and they don't need the piece of paper because life has given them those skills. If they need to go and get it, fair enough.
Yes. And you really have yourself been on such a journey, and I think it's very relevant for your listeners to know the journey that you've been on and the kind of challenges that you've faced, because that's informed who you are. So would you like to share some of that, some of the challenges that you've faced, which have then born, through which this work has been born out of you?
I had family problems, but mainly perhaps I was a bit hot-headed or whatever. Left home at 17, self-sufficient, married at 19 to a guy 17 years older than me with 3 children, took those on board. Then wanted to have children of my own, found out I was infertile because I'd had eating disorders and things through my teenage years. I then had to have fertility for my first 2 children, and sadly, 16 years into my marriage, my husband was killed. And I was left looking after his parents, who were living with me in their 80s. One had dementia and the other Alzheimer's, and my own 2 children. So life then, in between, I'd started a business, I saw a plot of land, bought it, built a house, did all of that, and I didn't recognise the skills I'd needed to do that until I was on my own.
Wow, wow. And that's really huge. I really want to acknowledge that, Suzanne, because I know a little bit about Alzheimer's. It's been in my family, my auntie, and I've also done a lot of studies into the brain and have heard many, many stories. And I know the challenges of even just having one very dependent person in your sphere, but to have 2 and to have lost a husband, and then to sort of see the resilience in yourself as you're coming through that is what a gift. And I really want to acknowledge that, because it feels that if you can get through that, and as you're dealing with people and they can see and understand your story and how you've triumphed over all of that adversity, it surely must be quite an inspiration for them.
The thing is, when you're going through it, you have no recognition of it, because it can be so difficult. It is a day at a time. So when you come to the end of it, it's sort of a relief, but you don't have any recognition for the strength you've had to use to get through it. So I would say to people who are listening that are going through it, they'll have no recognition, and at the end of it, they still won't recognise the strengths and how amazing they are to have done it.
Yeah. Which makes me also think that sometimes, because of what people are going through, we're all going through different things at different times in our lives, but we don't always acknowledge the intensity of something that we're going through. Maybe we numb it or just kind of dismiss it and just try and get on, but we're not feeling good and we don't know why sometimes. And I feel that, just taking stock and acknowledging and looking at our lives, and if we're not feeling good, then just looking at our circumstances, because it sounds like many people don't even realize that they're in those circumstances.
Well, you wake up in the morning, what's the weather like? And you look outside.
Especially in England.
Oh, don't. That's why I'm saying we're having a good day here today.
Yeah, right.
But what happens is, a lot of people will look out and they'll think, oh, not another wet day.
Yeah.
But equally, there are hundreds of thousands of people, regardless of the weather, regardless of their financial state, will be dealing with horrific circumstances that they are taking on board and doing, but they're not recognising themselves for it because they're so involved in it.
Yeah.
And this is also within the workplace, with bullying, with, recognising who you are. When you're in a situation, whatever the situation is, you take